Do you want to learn how to make this butterfly wreath? Well, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how. But before I get into the tutorial, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this video. Save this video so you can come back when you're ready to make this wreath. And share this video with a friend. Any interaction that you give my videos help push them out for others to find, and that helps support my channel so I can continue to make tutorial videos. Also, before I get into the tutorial, I want to say hi to my granddaughter, Ophelia. She says that she watches my videos whenever she misses me. Now let's get into making this wreath. I'm going to show you what you need for this wreath. I'm going to be using the bicycle wheel frame from Dollar Tree, 24 Chenille stems on the frame, and then I have a few extra for the center of the frame and anything else I might need them for as I'm putting it together. You'll also need some poly jute mesh. This is what I'm using. This yellow Deco mesh, cut it at 20 inches. If you cut 20 inches, you'll get 18 cuts from a whole roll. I'm also using orange Deco mesh. I got the Deco mesh, the poly jute, and the ribbon, except for one, from Craft Outlet. I'll leave links to the supplies in the description so you'll know where to go to get these supplies. So the ribbons I'm using are this pretty butterfly. I love this ribbon. And then the checked buffalo plaid orange ribbon. The polka dot, black polka dot, and the brown and white striped. I love the way the butterfly goes with the polka dot. I'm also using florals. I've got a lot of florals over here. I don't know which ones I'll end up using. I may use all of them. Some of them I may not use. And I got all of my florals from Hobby Lobby. You'll need a glue gun and some glue sticks. I'm going to get my table cleared off so I can start putting the poly jute on. I'm going to show you how to make a wreath base using the Dollar Tree bicycle wheel frame using Poofs, Ruffles, and Cruffles. First thing we need are 25 Chenille stems because there are 12 bars on the wheel frame, and we're going to be putting 2 Chenille stems on each bar and then one in the center. I'm going to show you how to put these Chenille stems on the bar. I've gotten all of these put on, but I left one so I could show you how to put them on. So you take a Chenille stem, fold it in half, bring it up, move that out of the way, bring it like this, twist that around, and bring it together and twist it there. Now for the second one, take a Chenille stem, and I'm going to bring this under, give it a twist, and to help hold this in place, I'm going to take my finger to kind of measure, put a drop of glue right there, bring the Chenille stem where that drop of glue is, and then put another drop of glue on the other side. And then I will hold this a little bit while it starts to harden. And that's all you need to do to put the Chenille stems on. Now we're going to do a poof on every bar, and we're going to measure them at 8 inches. If you can do 6 inches. It depends how thick you want the wreath to be. I'm going to do 8 inches. Just take the end and walk it. Make sure you keep this poofed under like that. Find a Chenille stem, doesn't matter which one, and twist the tie in there. You can leave this out a little bit if you're going to zip tie it to make sure you have room to put the zip tie on the mesh. And this is just to secure the Deco mesh. Okay, now I'm going to do 8 inches. Walk it in, find 8 inches, and just walk it from one side to the other. Make sure you've got your poof there. Put it in there, in the Chenille stem, and twist. We're just going to keep doing 8-inch poofs all the way around the first row. Then I'll show you how to transition it to the second row. Now we've come to the last chenille stem on that row, and if you want to, you can untwist that and put the poof, the mesh down in that right on top of the other mesh so that it's not sticking up farther than the rest of them. So now we're going to transition, take this from here and pull it tight into that chenille stem. I'm going to pull it as tight as I can. And if you want to here, you can also use a zip tie to tighten that down, but you don't have to. So again, 8 inches in every chenille stem. Just tuck it in there. Now this is already filling the base out. My OCD is going to get the best of me. The next thing to do on this wreath base is to add the ruffles. That's where the orange come in. I have 12 10-inch orange pieces. To do a ruffle, you lay it down with the factory edge on each side, and then you just walk it down the center. You get your bow tie. It looks like that. Try and do a zip tie, a chenille stem, and place that in there. And we are doing a ruffle in every other chenille stem. By the time we do the ruffles and then we put the cruffles on there, it's going to be full. So, like I said, a ruffle in every other chenille stem. And then when we get done here on the second row, instead of putting a ruffle straight up from this one, I'm going to put a ruffle across so that it's offset. When I get this done, I'll come back. We have the ruffles on there, so now we're going to start the cruffles. These are 20 inches. I didn't use a wood burner to cut these because you don't have to, with cruffles, you don't have to worry about the fraying. And also the material, there's like string in here and you can't use a wood burner to cut that. But like I said, you don't have to worry about fraying with cruffles. To do a cruffle, so I'm going to take this clip and lay it on that to weigh that down so it won't roll up on me. So you lay it curling up and the factory edges on each side. I'm going to take this end and roll it 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Well, here, this is coming out. I want to make sure the edges aren't coming out. That's how we're going to keep the fraying at bay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to take that clip and I'm going to put it there. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to walk down the center. Now we have what looks like that. So that's what it's going to look like when I put it in. You just go to the chenille stems where you didn't put the ruffles and you put a cruffle there. Put it in there and twist it. And I'm not twisting them as tight as I can. This is what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to do a cruffle in every chenille stem that doesn't have a ruffle. I've got all the cruffles in both rows. Now I have an extra cruffle that I cut to put in the center to support any sign, bow, flowers, anything I want to put in the center. I'm going to use half a chenille stem for this cruffle to attach it to the frame. This was at the end of the roll, so it doesn't want to lay flat. It wants to curl. What I'm going to do is take my half chenille stem, wrap it around this, and twist. And then I'm going to run this, make me some, find the center of my wreath for my frame, run this through, flip it over, and just run it through the frame like this and twist. And now you've got that cruffle in the center. And just straighten out your poofs and your ruffles to your liking, however you think they look best. There is your base on a bicycle wheel frame from Dollar Tree using the poof, ruffle, and cruffle method. When I hung it up, I didn't think that there were enough cruffles going around on the outside. So I went back, and where I had only put an orange ruffle, I put a yellow cruffle. And where I had only a yellow cruffle, I added an orange ruffle under that. So what we have is in every chenille stem, I have an orange ruffle and then a yellow cruffle on top of that. In the center, I went and added orange ruffles underneath every yellow cruffle. After I hung it up, I think it looks a lot better. It shows more orange and it's filled out around the outside. With the ribbons, I cut them at 14 inches and I dovetailed all of them. To dovetail the ribbons, all you do is you fold them in half here, long ways. You take your scissors and you go from here and cut it outward at an angle up, and you get that. Now, you don't have to start in any particular cruffle. You just pick a place and you start. So you take your ribbon set, fold it in half, and then pinch it. Before I put mine on, I like to kind of shape them. I want to make sure they're even lengthwise, and then I try to shape them out. I want them to lay a little spread out. I had to think for a minute what I was doing. So I want them to kind of lay like that. And then I'm just going to pick a chenille stem and put it in. Make sure they're even. Shape that a little bit more again and pull it. I'm not worried about the chenille stem showing because I'm going to be gluing florals on this wreath. So there are our ribbons. Now I'm going to skip this cruffle, go to the next cruffle, and I'm going to add the butterfly and the brown stripes in that one. Again, fold, and then pinch. Now with your butterfly one, it is directional, so you want to make sure that you put all of them in with the butterflies pointed in the same direction. That's a little uneven. Okay, even that out and spread these out. I'll fool with that later. So then we're going to skip one, and the next one we're going to do the polka dot in the orange. Then we're going to skip one and do the butterfly in the striped, and on around like that. I'm going to put these on and I'll come back. I have the outer circumference finished with the ribbon tails. So now I'm going to go into the inner circumference, and I'm going to go up from here, and I'm going to put the polka dot in orange here. I don't want to twist the chenille stem too tight because I don't want my ribbon tails to sink down in there and not be seen. So I'm not going to push my ribbon tails as far down as they'll go and pull that chenille stem tight. So I've got the cruffle with the ribbon tail. I'm going to skip the ruffle, and in this next cruffle, I'm going to put the butterfly with the brown lines. I have all the ribbon tails in, so now is the fun part, putting the enhancements on. I'm going to get all my stuff and I'll come back. I'm going to show you how to tie your hanger on the wreath. I need to go ahead and do that. So when I hang it on the wall to look to make sure I'm satisfied with where I have everything, as I'm working on it, I need something to hang it on. So I just have a piece of twine that I cut off. I'm going to put it here, run it where the bar is, bring the two ends together, and just tie a knot in it. And that's it. Simple, easy. Pull that and make sure it's tight. And then I'm going to cut the excess off. I'm ready to go. Now, the florals I'm using are, I'm going to use these florals for the center with the butterfly. So this and this are going in the center because I think the flowers are so pretty and it makes each color in the butterfly pop. Now, around the outside where the ribbon and the cruffles are, I'm going to use these and these. I'm going to use these together. See, the leaves on these are too long for the way I'm going to use them, so I'm not going to be able to use these leaves, but I want some greenery with those flowers, so I think this looks really good together. This is what I'm going to do. A tip, what I do when I go to Hobby Lobby to pick out my flowers, I always count to make sure there are enough on the bush that I need. So make sure you do that when you're picking your flowers. Also, I will check the heads to make sure everyone has a flower on them. So I always look at them to make sure. So we have these two that I'm putting together. And then I have these. I have the white. Well, it's a little touch of white and a little touch of yellow to go with the butterfly because there is a little touch of yellow in the butterfly. And I love this greenery. And this is what these are going to look like together. I think that looks really good. I'm not going to be able to use the leaves that come on this because they're too long. So that's why I always like to put the greenery with the flowers. And if I can't use those leaves, then I need some other greenery to use with them. Now, I've kind of come up with a formula that I have been using on my last few wreaths that I've made using, where I've used a lot of florals. I am all about symmetry, and I'm meticulous when I place stuff on my wreaths. To begin with, I start where there is a ribbon. Every ribbon, I choose what florals I'm going to put there because I'm going to put a floral and a greenery where every ribbon is. I have chosen putting these together at every ribbon. Then I'm going to go just where the cruffles are without the ribbon and where the ruffles are without the ribbon here. And I'm going to put these there. And this is going to give me my symmetry. I will have a full circle of greenery on the outside. I'm going to clip all of these off and then I'll come back and we'll get started. I have all my flowers and greenery cut. I have all the chenille stems, the excess chenille stems trimmed off my wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply pair the orange flower with the deal. That's what this greenery is. Then I'm going to find a chenille stem or a cruffle that has the ribbon in it. I'm going to see how I want it in there. What I like to do is to line that up. See how that's sticking just barely over the ribbon. I have my glue gun over here hot. Find where I want to stick this, what I want to glue this in. I'm kind of, let me see. I want to show you. Right here, you see that opening right there? I'm just taking the end of this, kind of nestling it down in there. And so this is why I like to use my glue gun too, because I can get this nestled in there where I want it. And then when I know that's how I want it, I just put glue on it. And then I will hide that with the Cruffle, with the Deco mesh. Now I'm going to take my glue gun and I try not to get glue on my ribbon. So when I want to straighten my ribbon out after I hang it up, I don't have glue holding it and not be able to move it. So I'm just going to put glue on the Deco mesh there over the floral stem on the Deco mesh to let it catch. And that can catch on the chenille stem some too. Hold it there for a few seconds while that hardens. And then I'll bring that Deco mesh in. Fix it. Kind of hide that some. After I finish the wreath, I turn my wreath upside down and I give them a shake to make sure nothing's going to fall off. And if I think anything's loose, I'll add more glue to it. Now I'm going to take these sets and put them in every Chenille stem and every Cruffle that has a set of ribbon tails. I have all of these on. So now I'm going to start with the yellow and white ones in these. And I'm going to put these in where every Chenille stem is that doesn't have a ribbon tail. Stuff those down in there and add some glue to it. I'm going to have to clip this some more, and I've got to tell you, these ones are hard to clip. So I'm glad I've got these clippers, because even with these clippers, it's hard to clip. You can see I scratched myself earlier trying to clip these off, and I bent a nail, and I hate that. It hurts. And that went flying. So if you need clippers for clipping florals or anything, I highly recommend these. I'll leave my affiliate link for these in the description if you want to look at these and maybe buy you a pair. Now, if you click the link, anything you purchase after you click the link, I will get commission for it. So I just have to let you know that. After hanging this on the wall and holding both of the butterflies up, I decided it's definitely going to be too crowded to use both the butterflies. So I'm just going to use this butterfly. All right, this is what the back of the butterflies look like. So I'm going to take brown pipe cleaners because they will blend in with the poly jute mesh. And then this is for making jewelry, but I use it on my metal signs, and I just poked a hole there. And how I know where to poke the hole, I look at my butterfly and see where I could put the hole and the wire to run it through. So I think I'm going to do it there, and then I'll put these through. And if it needs more security, which it shouldn't, I can always put a little bit of glue under here. But with my other butterfly wreath, I didn't have to do that. So poke a hole right here, and then I have flowers that I'm going to add on here, and that will help hide the wire. Get that out. Now I will put links in the description below. I'll look on Amazon and find all of the things that I've used and get my affiliate links, put them in the description below if you want to go look at the items I've used and maybe purchase them. I have 22 gauge wire, and that should be enough. Run it through this hole. Well, first, I'm going to go ahead and put these in to secure it, because that is where I want it. And if I do that, it's going to move it. Let's turn this around a little bit. Find where I'm going to run this one through. Now, this comes out over the ribbon in the flowers. So I'm just going to try to go down in between that where the flowers, the greenery, will help hide that chenille stem. If I can find it. Got a fish. Try to get that through. But I want to do this without pushing the ribbon down. And I'm not going to do this very tight because I don't want to squash my deco mesh or my flowers or my ribbon. And then I'll do this one. Run it in between these two cruffles right here. All right, there I got it. And I don't want to pull that too tight. Tight enough, but not too tight. See how it's squashing? When I pull it, it's pushing those down. I don't want that. So that's how I'll know how tight to pull that and twist that on the bar. Flip this over and wrap these two around. Now I'm not going to wrap it too many times in case after I put my flowers and everything on, I want to move it a little bit. So that should be enough for now. Now we got to put the wire on here. I don't need all that excess, so I'm going to clip that off. All right. Remember where I want that? Right there is an opening, and I will push it down through there. Pull that through. without squashing my Deco mesh. Flip this over again. You can tell that I put enough glue on those flowers because none of them have come off yet. I don't need that much wire. Okay, I got that. Now it's time to start adding the flowers. When I add flowers, I have to hang my wreath up on my wall so I could step back and look to see where I think I want the flowers. I would put my camera pointing toward the wall, but after I see where I want to put it, I lay my wreath on my table. So I'm going to hang this up on my wall to see where I want to add some of my flowers. This is what I've got so far, and I'm using this as filler. I got this from Hobby Lobby too. So now I need to glue these on here. I want to glue this one on first, and then I'll stuff that back down in there. How to get that? I will put glue on the stem, and then I will put some glue here. This would be a good time to use my skillet, but I don't have it plugged in. Now push that down in there. Next, I will glue these in. Might have to clip that off some, or just slide that down in there like that. But I'll slide this one down in there first since it's going under that. I think this white is going to help that orange stand out better. I'll just put some glue. This is why I like to use my glue gun. When I get something where I want it, I hate to move it. I like to just stick it and then glue it. Catch that on the glue that I used to glue the white thing in, the white filler in. Push that farther down in there so the white stands out. I don't want all of the white filler hidden. Make sure I have enough glue on there. I think so. It needs to get a hold of that Deco mesh so when it hardens, it cleans on that. Now I'm going to glue this one on. See, I've got that where I want it. Find where I can put glue. Glue it to the butterfly. I hate to glue it to the butterfly, but have to do what you have to do. So that's what I've got so far. And I'm not going to use a lot of these. I don't know, that might be the only one of these I put on there because I may add some more of these. And then I have another one of these. I want to use all of the ones off that bush. So I may, let's see, come down and put these here. Put those there and add some of these. I don't like that leaf is like that, but add some of these somewhere. And then I have a couple more of these. I'm going to hang this back on my wall and see if this is what I'm going to do. Here's the wreath finished. I did end up adding another one of these down here. And then you saw where I glued this one on. I took two more and kind of put them, they're a little bit in a triangle. And then where I had added the orange with the white filler here, I came down diagonally and added another one down here. And then kind of offset, put one of the white filler. I didn't have any more of the orange flowers, but I just stuffed the white filler in there. That, I think, when you do it in threes, gives a little bit more dimension to the wreath or anything you're looking at. Any spare flowers that I had left on the bushes, I just stuffed them into the wreath where I thought it might have needed something else. I think the colors of this wreath pop, and it makes this wreath very eye-catching. I hope this tutorial inspired you And if you've watched it this far, please leave me a butterfly in the comments. Until next time, bye everyone.